reference.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Who All Gonna Be There podcast, the place where you get to be an exclusive member to our very entertaining group chat.
There
and
you
for
go.
Those watching, you may see we have a new face onto the pod in the group chat. Our friend, our brother in the craft, Isaiah, aka 8 Ball Bangers, is an exclusive today and will be covering the Traitors episode 4 with us. Isaiah, how are you? We are so happy to have you here.
I'm good. I've been a watcher for a while, you know. So I'm finally excited. I was like, I'm gonna wait for my turn. I'm gonna wait for my turn. It's finally my turn, you know. So, but thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Absolutely, we're so glad to have you here. He, like I said, Isaiah is pretty known in the podcast community. He does his Thug Dizzle in Eli's terms over there at Silent Podcast, which we are no stranger to partnering with. But the Traitors, man, how are you feeling about this season so far? At 4 episodes in, how are you feeling so far?
I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of chaos. You know, it's a lot of moving pieces. I'm entertained. You know, so like, I mean, I don't want to go and say like it's my favorite yet, but it's on track for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really enjoying it.
It's messy, right? And I like messy.
Right, exactly. we see the same thing, Tracy. We get it.
Yes,
right?
It is messy. And I love it because I didn't watch it immediately, like the first 3 episodes when it dropped. I waited the next day, but I was hearing so many like things about it, and people were like, "Oh, it's not that good. It's not worth watching." And I got to watch it, and I text the group chat. I'm like, "This is good. What they talking about?" Like, I was entertained.
Hold on, we was in the chat like because listen, what's up, Cam? When I watch reality TV, of course, I love to see the gameplay. I love to see all that. But when it's messy, that's what I tuned in for. Mm-hmm. If I wanted something scripted and to go, with a storyline, then I'm gonna watch something else. But in reality TV, I always expect mess. And these first 4 episodes it's been a little messy, and I am highly enjoying it.
Especially for a show like the Traitors. I feel like the Traitors, not that I'm here for the gameplay or that I'm not expecting any of it, but part of me doesn't care at all about the gameplay. Give me a mess, give me fights, give me entertainment, because no one's going to perfect strategy their way to the end after what Suri did. And even that, there's flaws to the game. All it takes is one finger point. Eli, so it's been full of mess.
Eli's a firm believer that there's no... Oh, go ahead, Trace.
Can I make everybody mad real fast?
You can.
Okay.
Do y'all think Boston on his way to Suri status on Traitors?
No.
No? Not even a little bit?
He could be.
I'm a big Rob fan, but that's enough for me.
Maybe.
I think it's a maybe. That's what I'm saying. I ain't checked out yet. Do I think he gonna top Suri? No. But do I think he might be under there? Maybe.
I wouldn't even say that. I'm gonna say maybe.
You think
Put a pin.
I think it's too early for like any crazy sentiments, but I don't know, man. Like I was impressed.
It's in the back of your mind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I love
exactly.
I can't deny that. But we're gonna put a pin in there because I got thoughts.
Who did you vote for in the last election? Nah, just playing.
Trust me, we ain't got to worry about that. Not have to worry about that. But I was gonna tell Isaiah, Eli's a firm believer that there is no real strategy in Traitors. Like he doesn't feel like anybody could be the GOAT or a legend in Traitors because it's not like our other shows that we really watch.
I don't disagree with that. So my first experience with the Traitors is US, and I watched the first season, and I was a part of everyone with this whole myth of like, oh my god, like there's a strategy to do this thing. There's a game, and then season 2 really opened my eyes. The strategy of the show and everything, and I'm kind of with Ever here. I don't think there's a distinctive way to play yet, because I think at least over here in US there's just like it's still so new, and like there's so much opportunity to evolve what this game is. Obviously we see like the challenges are evolving, and I just think that real way, like everyone's going to tell you play like Sari, play like Sandra. I don't co-sign that, you know. So I'm with Edwards here. I agree with that.
I will say I agree in that notion. Like you can't play like if you go into this game like how you approach how other players approach like Big Brother and Survivor and those things like that. Like, oh, I want to model my game after such and such. This game's format does not allow that to happen. Like there's no way for you to model after someone, because all it takes, like at the end, like is a finger point. That's all it takes, really, is one finger point, or you slipping out of a bookcase when somebody is there and running your mouth too loud, So it really, and you never know, or a piece of paper slipped out of your pocket and you just happen to be writing names on it, and they think you write down hit lists. So.
And I feel like we even saw this a bit from the post-mortem coverage from Tony and Ian that they were having. I saw clips on Twitter throughout, and a lot of what Tony was saying was pretty much people are guessing what Alan's going to do. And he's kind of said that throughout, where I would have the same strategy too. Oh, he's obviously going to do the detective, the undercover cop. No one will see it coming, and all the reality TV legends. And they played us. They played everyone by throwing Carolyn in there, which is good by Alan. But a lot of people are just going to go into it. Who are they going to pick? Who has the personality to be a traitor?
Right.
Absolutely. So Mary brings up the coffin. So yeah, let's get into the coffin. So last episode, episode 3, we were left off with the traitors shortlisting 3 players for murder, as Alan would say.
Yeah.
And then we saw Danielle and Carolyn coming out of that bookcase, the secret bookcase, laughing loud, giggling for whatever reason, I don't know. And we see Gabby coming in, and it appears that she caught them. And we know editing. Isaiah knows editing.
We said that too. We like,
they trying to play us. We ain't silly. Like we know how they try to make it seem like people's in the same room, and it was never happening that way. But she did hear Danielle laughing. And I was like, uh-oh, Danielle in trouble. She in trouble, because that's a rookie mistake. That is a rookie mistake. And I was a little concerned for her, because she went back. She was like, I thought she was going to tell everybody that she heard Danielle in the bookcase. But then Dylan, I loved it. Dylan is just crushing this game so far. But he goes in there and they find the bookcase. He finds it open. Danielle follows him in there. Who else follows him in there? Sierra? Was it Sierra or somebody else did?
I think Sierra near the end.
And he was like, something changed. Something happens to this room. It's like he was a fortune teller. Like he felt the energy shift in the room beforehand. And he's like looking around. He's like, was there something here? And the box is like right there. But leaving that door open, that was Boston Rob and Bob's fault, because they did not shut the door when they left. And had they shut the door, nobody would have went in there.
So it was really sloppy. But I actually spoke about this on my channel a little bit. I'm actually under the assumption that like everyone knew that this room existed. Like I know the edits like trying to play like this was a secret room, but the cast was in this room last season. Like I remember Sari and Peter having that conversation in there. But when they're looking around in there, they don't really seem like shocked that there's a room there, but they're kind of like something seems different. I was like, oh, okay, like maybe they knew the room existed, but they were like, who is in here or something, like I don't know. Regardless, like what the hell? Like, why would you leave the door open? I thought that was crazy. And I mean, the fact that it seems like they're going to get away with this just because there's so much going on with the twist is crazy. But I'm shocked that people kind of just like let that slide,
But you know what? I think them being it might have saved Danielle in hindsight, because Dylan and them going in there, because when we know Gabby brought it up that was bold. I'm not mad at it. She was bold to bring it up. It was like, so anybody want to say who was in
front of the table too? I was like,
yeah.
Oh,
and I love
It was Gabby who found out that they were coming out, right?
Yeah.
I felt like she should have like tackled that like almost immediately, and I think there was a mistake that she waited till the next day to bring it up because it gave enough time for someone to have like plausible deniability if they were caught, you know. So it's
That's true.
What does the game look like if she calls it out immediately and walks back in, or tells someone like, yo, I heard someone in the room, you know, like I don't know. I think it could have been a little different.
Because at that point, like you're mentioning, because that gave time for Dylan to go in there and Danielle to follow in there. And after she posed it to the table, she was like, "Oh yeah, I was in there. Dylan was in there. Throw Dylan up in there too. They don't think he's a traitor, so let's throw him in there, right?" So it gave her a little bit of an out, and she was like, "Oh well, dang, well there goes my theory."
I understand the perspective of Gabby not wanting to be like, "Hey, what are you doing, potential traitor?" Because of course she doesn't know that they shortlisted people. And you get caught up, they go up to the turret, and she out of here because she caught Danielle. So it was funny watching her scurry away. But you think that she'd at least whisper to somebody, "Hey, it just happened."
I thought she was gonna go to like her girls, you know, the Bambies and
the little baby crew.
Yeah, but
she's trying to be a strategist.
They in trouble. Nikki was on Wes's list because they all get called out in the middle of the night, right? They go out there and Alan explains that in the midst of all what they were doing, that the traitors chose 3 people among them in plain sight, and they chose Jeremy, Nikki, and Sierra to be placed in coffins, one of which who will be murdered that night. And everybody's just shocked. They don't know what's going on. Sierra was pissed. She started cussing them. She called them every name but a child of God when she got thrown in the box.
Baby, she was pissed.
Nikki and Jeremy, they kind of gave pleas like, I'm a faithful. They trying to plead their case to the people, but they got shut in there, and Jeremy was ultimately killed. Why Danielle keeps getting all this power to make these decisions to kill, and they keep letting her do it, I don't know. But what do you think about the decision to kill Jeremy? Y'all think about that?
I think it was smart. Go ahead, Eli.
I don't know. It's smart in terms of, and there's no way Danielle can know this, how much Jeremy has been spreading her name out. But it's so tough where this guy's been spreading Danielle's name and then boom, he dies. But that's a perspective you could almost like double twist it and think, oh, there's no way Danielle would kill him because Jeremy was just saying her name.
Yeah.
But I hated to see Jeremy going. Even him trying to fight before he got put in the coffin saying, "Oh, traitors, I'll help you out in this game if you save me," which I thought was really funny.
I know. I was like, Yeah. And you know what? I kind of believe that. Now, was he going to turn on it later? Of course. But
Mary said it in his interview. He said he loved Bob like a brother.
Yeah, I mean, even without the interview, I agree with Mary. I thought that was a bad decision. I mean, the person who obviously benefited the most from this was Danielle. But I should say, yeah, Eric, like I think Bob and Rob specifically had the most to gain from Jeremy. Like Jeremy was completely snowed by Bob. Like Bob, he was running him information. He was clearing his name in the round tables. And then even Rob, like they had the survivor connection. I don't think they would have went against that. Yet I think that Bob specifically just held a lot of stock in just him running Daniel's name. It's like it's still a numbers game at the end of the day, you know? And I don't know. I think that was such a bad move. Losing Tony and Jeremy back to back is really bad for Rob and Carolyn, to be honest. So the only person that benefited from this was Danny. And
what do you have to say to Carolyn? Like, if you could tell her something, like, although all this is already finished in film, but like in this moment, like we see in her confessional, oh no, this is not the right decision. Why? I don't want to do this. I don't want us to do this. I don't want to
open your mouth.
Girl, if I had to go another week telling you, stand up, put your foot down, put some air in your chest. She needs to
just take initiative. She doesn't. She just like in Survivor, she doesn't take initiative for anything, unfortunately. And you know, it doesn't matter how good her position is. She just doesn't get respect because she doesn't speak up. You know, so I speak up. Get up. You know what I'm saying?
Should speak up and have a good argument, because we saw with one of the killings early on, her just not being able to formulate why they shouldn't kill Dorinda.
Yeah.
And if she speaks up and has an actual good argument, she could have persuaded all three of them that it was bad for every single traitor. There's a reason why that kill was bad for every single traitor. And they just went for it.
Yeah,
I could see it. The petty in me. Y'all know I'm petty. You said my name, you go home.
And that's what she said. That's literally what she said. She was like, "You said."
I fear I would be Danielle.
So die.
Now, for the long run, like, fam, you probably could have. Our group cat, you could have waited like a little minute. Like, of course, eventually you're gonna take him out. But he was on the cool. Like, he wasn't really as loud about Danielle being a traitor. But he's like, I got these suspicions. You know, he went around the house like, it's Danielle, it's Danielle, it's Danielle. She might have could have waited, but I ain't gonna lie. You said my name. Bye.
You gotta sometimes nip it at the bud. You do sometimes gotta just cut the weed.
We'll see if it pans out, but
because, and it honestly, it almost did. And I told Treese this when I watched the episode last night. If Bob hadn't opened his mouth what he did at the challenge, and we'll get to the challenge in a minute, I think Nikki would have been the one going home this episode at the round table, because West, because they had this theory, which Rob told them to do this because they
should have ran with the Nikki.
Trying to, if we remember, they were like, yeah, let's put Karen in the coffin. And Rob was like, no, because they're going to assume at least one or maybe even two people in here are traitors. So let's not put a traitor on there, because once you in there, once your people got eyes on you, your name becomes under suspicion immediately. And what did everybody think? At least one or two of them got to be traitors. One or two of the people in the box got to be a traitor. And so that was a perfect plan. So shout out to Rob. Shout it out, because he told him to do that. And then everybody really assumed after Jeremy, even before they found out Jeremy was the one dead, Sierra or Nikki had to be a traitor, if not both of them. And we seen the conversations after breakfast, because Nikki gave this detail. Oh, I heard light feed. I didn't. So I know it's not Bob the drag queen. And Danielle, what else you hear? She tried to get out information. She trying to glean. What did they? Did you hear anybody's voice? Did you? And she was like, she's asking me these questions because I feel like she's one of. I know it's her. I ain't gonna say it out loud, but she got her eyes on Danielle. But everybody else, like Tom is. I think Sierra was recruited to be a traitor. Like, where did that even?
Genius.
You don't get recruited until traitors have been taken out of the game. Like, nobody's getting recruited this early, but I digress. So he's floating the idea that Sierra is a traitor. And then West, he's like, nah, it's Nikki. Nikki's a traitor. I feel it. And I'm for it. Because I'm team traitors. I'm typically always team traitors for a little bit. And so I'm like, hey.
You a villain.
Go ahead, make it happen. So both of them got suspicion.
Being a villain is fun, though.
It is. So the plan is working. People are assuming that if not two, at least one person that was in that coffin, those coffins, are traitors. So great strategy on the traitors' part, really, Rob's. Going to the challenge, which it was a weird challenge. They got to carry the Stonehenge heads up the mountain, the statues, placed them on there, and those who got their heads with the name on it got shields. Simple concept. Unfortunately,
and the men do what the men do.
Every single name up there was a man.
Except, I mean, they started putting some women up there. Like Dolores got in there, Brittany got in there, Danielle got her name up there. But I thought it was funny. I was laughing. It wasn't funny, but it was funny because Bob H. I used to watch Biggest Loser. Me and my grandma, we loved us some Biggest Loser, right? And so he was struggling up. I'm like, oh, I know his former contestants. They was like, I know you not struggling up a hill and the way you used to do us about a hill.
Someone better get in his face and yell at him how he doesn't want it enough.
Yeah.
I definitely, if I would bid on a cast, if they still did civilian casting, I'm like, now Bob, I remember you yelling at them people about them hills now.
He used to be ruthless. Right. Ruthless.
But shout out to him because he did say he had a heart attack 7 years ago. And so for someone like him, like I appreciated his little backstory. Y'all know I hate stories. Me and Trees don't like stories and people sob stories and stuff like that. But,
fast forward right past that. Thank you for telling me this happened.
I thought it was neat because when you are someone who's always seen as somebody fit, who is fit, and then you can't perform to the level, and especially if you're athletes, if you play sports and things like that, then you also know that it kind of takes a bit out of you. You feel like less of yourself if you can't perform the way you used to. So he didn't give up. I applaud him for not giving up, but I know it was really hard for him to not be able to do what he thought he could do. So.
Yeah. What y'all think about my good guy Derek Levasseur helping Bob H out?
I will say, like, so usually the other 2 seasons I skipped through the challenges, and Derek and a bunch of other players during this challenge brought like different kind of strategies where like you got like it was like Wes and Tom and Dylan like carrying their heads up, and then you're like, you got Bob who's like, we should talk about this, and then you got Derek like, I'm going to help people. I like that there's like stakes now. I mean, there might be too many shields, I'm not gonna lie, but regardless, it's fun to actually watch now because it's like, all right, we don't need this whole teammate aspect because it's also every man for themselves, and actually causes drama. This is going to cause alliances, conflict, all that, you know. So I was really with it. I liked it. And Derek, as you said, Edwards, I thought it was interesting that he was like, I'm going to like help everyone and try to give myself some goodwill. I don't really think it mattered in this situation, but I mean, it was interesting. Like we are getting. And I don't know what Traitors Edgic is or anything like that. I try not to look into Edgic, but we're getting a lot of like Derek one-offs in these episodes. So like it must amount to something. I don't know. But I don't like reading into it. I like to just enjoy my time, you know. But yeah. Sorry, I'm a yapper, by the way. If I talk too much,
you're good.
But I like that.
I will say it was interesting for me when I was listening to Bob, the drag queen, when he would tell us here, oh girl, yeah, you need a shield because everybody think you a traitor.
I said, now Bob, that was so unnecessary.
And so she was panicking. And like she was like, well, God, I really need a shield because everybody thinks I'm a traitor. Wes was like, no, we don't.
But like, even on top of that, I'm like, Bob, even at the beginning, trying to like formulate a plan for who gets what shield. It's like, Bob, you're a traitor and you're safe. Like, why are you putting this target on your back? Like, he just talked a lot.
Trying to pretend he had faithful.
Way too much. Listen. Yeah, and it's also like every man for themselves. I don't like Bob could have probably carried a head up there. Like, who cares? Like, focus on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was doing a little too much. Too much.
Listen, in the words of Stephen Martin, my man, it's free to just shut up. It is free.
Free 99.
Shut up. I was like, you're not like, Bob, now why would you?
Because he, at the end of this challenge, we all heard what he said. And I believe this cost him the game because he literally, for absolutely no reason, unprovoked whatsoever. If there was a reason why he said this, y'all please inform me. Listeners, everybody in the chat, or y'all on the panel. He literally says, we all still think one of the new guys are traitors.
That put the cherry on top right there.
Yeah,
like man had a full sundae together, a banana split, if you shall, strawberry, vanilla, chocolate, bananas, syrup,
peanuts.
I used to work at Brahms, if y'all heard that. All of it. The last thing I needed, the last thing you put on a sundae is what? The cherry. And right when he said that, I said, "Go ahead, box that up,
pack it up,
your order's up." I was like, "Now, Bob."
Why did he say
Robert,
that? Say that on the car ride. Say that you wait 30 or wait 20 minutes and just whoever you're in the car with be like, yeah, we think it's them. That's when you got to get your strategy out.
But you said it in front of them. You said it in front of them too. Like that's the part that really behooved me. Is you said it in front of them, knowing one of your fellow people is also one of those new guys and a traitor.
One of the people that helped save you, by the way, last week. Last episode.
Okay? Talk about it.
Oh my God, just listen. I think the internet is kind of like anti-Rob now because Bob. Well, I don't want to spoil whatever, but regardless, I mean, I get it because fan favorite and all that, but it's like Rob at least made it seem like he was trying to be a team player for these last few episodes for a while. Yeah. And you can only go so much. Like, we all know if he ain't do what he did, obviously I don't want to skip ahead too much. like Danny and Bob would have did like start putting steps in to do the same thing. So it's like this was just like the icing on the cake. I don't know if it was on purpose or if he was just yapping, but like you gotta think before you speak, man. Like I just thought this was like so messy and unnecessary. Like you could have did this in private. You didn't even need to do this in front of everybody. Like it was just bad, man. And he definitely got what, because I don't even think Rob does this if he didn't do that this episode, you know.
Mary
so
he wouldn't have been that vocal at the table. Honestly,
no.
I think
Mary said she think Rob was just looking for an excuse to break up Danielle and Bob.
That's what everybody was saying. I mean, and if it is, I mean, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
Bob still gave him an excuse. Bob still gave him a reason.
Okay.
It do make logical sense though. But if I'm Rob, you gotta go.
Yeah,
you gotta go.
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Oh no, I'm just saying. I just think everyone is trying to like look for like these angles to like make this like a bad thing. It's just like no, he was being messy, and they're both going to come at each other at some point. He just pulled the first move. Was it the best move? We'll get to that, but it's just like he did it.
I was going to kind of say like in terms of the move, like it was great, but was it the best? I think I probably would have waited after one more round table, not this round table, but I would have been like, next time I got you, because let's get Nikki or whoever, whichever one we want to take, let them take the fall for it. Because what they wanted, Danielle's plan and Danielle and Carolyn's plan was really smart. Let's let Nikki get out at the round, banish at the round table. Let Sierra stay alive and kill somebody else, so she'll take the fall, so she'll get banished at the next one. So that was like almost 2.5 cycles worth of killings where they could still remain undetected. So their plan was better for the Traitors as a whole's longevity. But in terms of a Traitor's personal game, I understand the move that Rob made, and I can't even fault him for it. So he immediately went to work. After that, he said in his mind, he was like, oh, put a target on me. Sorry, Bob, drag queen, you got to go tonight. So he said, but I don't want to be the one to do it. Now, I don't want to be the one. So I don't want Carolyn and Danielle mad at me. So I'm going to go to someone else. And that someone else was Dylan. Although Dylan had reserved to not go for Bob because him and Dolores were talking earlier. And I think it was Dolores or was it Chriselle? One of those two. And he was basically like, I know Bob is a drag queen. We know that too. I know that Bob the drag queen is a traitor.
What? Bob the drag queen? That's crazy. Took me this long to realize. Thank you, Eric.
He was like, I know it, but you don't have the numbers, so I'm just gonna shut up about it, which is smart. So he took just be quiet. If you don't have the numbers for somebody, even if you believe it, you gotta just not do it. Because it's gonna cause you to be murdered, and that's what it had to be. Dolores, she was just warning. She was like, "Don't do too much now, because if you keep going after him, he gonna kill you if he is one." So it's just better to just be quiet until you have the numbers. And so when Rob approached Dylan, he's like, "Tonight's the night." Oh, you should have seen Dylan. The fire lit in him. He was like a kid in a candy store when Rob told him that Bob drag queen was going home tonight, and they just started pulling numbers and talking, having their secret meetings and whatnot, just floating in between the rooms, planting the seeds and letting them know like it was him. He got to be the one. But I also thought it was very funny because on the way, before Rob even did that, he told Wes and Derek that it needed to be Bob the drag queen. But they each had their own agendas. Wes was like, nah, it's Nikki. I'm going for Nikki. And Derek was like, I'm on to Sierra. Sierra, I'm trying to figure out why he was really convinced that she was one, or if he really did think that or not.
Right.
But I love that they each three had their own agenda and was adamantly fighting for that in their whispers and conversations. So how are y'all feeling about these conversations before the banishment table or round table?
Literally, I was just like, and this is kind of like maybe like a third style of gameplay. I don't know. But it's like, all right, you're not with me this vote, but I'm at least telling you what I'm doing so you don't feel blindsided later. And he also did that with Carolyn and Danny, now that I think about it. And they were like, obviously, they were still going to try to do their own thing. But it's like, hey, the guy at least told you what he's about to do. Do not be surprised when he does it. You know what I'm saying? So they can't even like sit here and say you betrayed us or you blindsided us, because he was like, hey, I'm voting Bob. I'm just letting you guys know that. Like he was honest, you know, and you might not like it, but he was successful, you know. So they had the opportunity to be on the right side of numbers. They didn't take it, and here we are.
Well, they didn't have to. I mean, they did vote for him, but like, I told Treese, I was like, y'all crying, y'all could have voted Nikki, or y'all said y'all could have just voted Nikki. Like you didn't have to vote Bob. He would have still been home, but y'all did not have to vote him.
They want to look like they want to look like faithfuls, you know. It's pressure.
So does Wes look like a traitor because he voted Nikki? Does Robin?
He could
potentially, yeah. That's
this is
reason.
such a random game. Yeah,
it's so random. You honestly really never know whose mind is and what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Because now Dylan's 100% a faithful because he's been on Bob this whole time, and you're on the right side of the vote, and some people have to be thinking, oh, at least one traitor messed up. There's no way all the traitors were coordinated and all the traitors were on the right side.
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe they didn't show this in the edit, but like when everybody cheered, so obviously we're talking about the vote, like after it all happened.
It was so extra.
You would have thought they won a Super Bowl. the way they were.
They're winning. Shoot, it feels like they got a traitor faster than last season. I forget when Dan got voted out. It feels 4 or 5.
This is definitely quick.
Way faster.
Yeah. I think this is the quickest they've ever found a traitor, because I think they got Dan in what episode? 5 or 6? One of those two. But they were celebrating. I didn't see Danielle was still at the table. Maybe she using
Danielle turned up. I said. She was turned up like, oh my God, we got one. I was like, all right, girl, come on, acting.
But speaking of the acting, like she got some of the housewives. I don't know if they're housewives, but some of the girls fooled. They was like, oh no, it can't be that. Yeah, she's just so emotional and it's not her. I'm like, oh, maybe she is got people fooled, because from our perspective, it's like you doing too much. You all this crying, I would have been and thought you was one, but it's working for her. So this
I don't know if it's really working for her, because a lot of people. Is it the fandom or just someone comment on her crying a lot? I think it was last episode someone commented.
I feel like it was Gabby. I think Gabby will say she's too emotional. Yeah. I think she said something like that, like, which is, I think in black terms, she being extra. Is what I read from that, and I was just like, Gabby, you gotta own something. They're like, no, of course not.
But Gabby also was the same one that was like, Bob is not. Oh no, she was like, Nikki can't be a traitor. Well, even if she is though, I don't want her gone yet. So, like, girl,
that's good gameplay. That's good gameplay.
I understand.
According to some people, that's good gameplay. So that's what I'm saying. It's so inconsistent with this game. Like, I don't even know how to really rate this thing, man. It's crazy.
So the round table. So obviously, Wes got us started, and he basically pointed out Nikki, the reason why he felt like she was the traitor, and Nikki was like, she didn't really have nothing to say. She's like, "Our silence is golden. I've done nothing but be faithful. That's all I can say." That is not good excuse. Bye. Vote for you because you didn't give me nothing. And then Derek decides to call out Sierra based on her cussing. He using his detective skills.
So dumb.
He was like,
He's cooking. It's not good food.
You use profanity is a way to deflect, and that's what we see a lot of criminals decide to do when we know they lie. They use profanity to try to show emotion, and that's all you did. And she's like, I am a nurse. I have to tell people if they're living or dying. And yes, I cuss a lot, and so that's just me. And Dylan, he was like, yeah, the first thing she told me it was a cuss word. So that's just her. That's just,
that was so extra to me. I would, in the back of my mind, I said, okay, Derek, we get it that you was a cop on Big Brother, and now you got to be like, oh my God, we get it.
And now you a traitor in my mind because you talking to me.
He was like
I rolled my eyes hard.
I was just like, because he was cooking last episode. And then out of nowhere, he just like, oh, you're cursing. You must be a traitor, bro. Like, come on now, bro. That was
if that's the case, I'm a criminal. Okay.
I'm about to say, what's here from Cali? Is she one of the Selling Sunset people? I don't know, but I'm assuming they just be cussing everywhere in that area.
Shoot.
Mary, what are you talking about? What is this? Dolores is so clueless why she's engaged to a married man, huh?
Hey,
not the tea.
History. Right.
He in the shade.
Isaiah,
you know what? I'm gonna look into that, Mary.
I know. I'd say that's so wild to say.
I'm gonna have to look into that.
What is it?
Oh man.
Explain that to us, Mary, because I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
What that's about. And then we get to the main event because we see it's Sierra, Nikki, and it's looking like nobody is saying something. Rob is kind of looking at Dylan like, is Dylan gonna do what I need him to do? And Dylan look like, Rob, you gonna do what you like? This was your plan. And Boston Rob's like, you know what? I'm gonna just have to go ahead and say it. Y'all been sitting back last couple of days. I've been watching. I got my binoculars on, and I know who a traitor is. And he's beloved by everybody. Everybody love him. Everybody adores him. He's in your face. He's tricking. He's deceiving. And the dramatics of how they do it. And he just does like this like creepy
head turn, just looking around. Eyes lock on Bob. Ooh.
And Bob goes.
Boy, he was shocked. He said, y'all saw his hand shaking? He said
he was shaking.
I said, no, Bob.
He was pissed. And Bob just goes in. He's like, yeah, you the traitor. Don't even look surprised. We know you've been acting. You the best actor of us all. And Dylan goes in and he was like, I know it's you. I've been knowing it's you. And they start just layering in why they think it's him. And just his responses, because you've been controlling the table and then you deflect. And so it's you. It got to be you. And Bob didn't really have much to say this time. Like he's called, when the big dog sit down, then the little one try to pipe up. And then when he lost people too, when he said, your brother's, when Dylan called him an actor, he's like, your brother's an actor. He was like, not a good one. And then Dolores like, that's not nice. Everybody, I think
everyone gonna be acting. I'm sorry.
He said, "I know what an actor's like. I live with one my whole life." He said, "Not a good one." Oh my god! I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like,
that was a personal attack. I think he got in his feelings just a little bit. I think that was the real outside the game, Bob the drag queen. But
at that point, I was like, "Packing bags, bro. It's over. It's over."
A little too upset.
Like gas between people when he said that.
Man. That interaction even got X in trouble. Like he was getting talked about on Twitter because he was like, "Oh, Zach was a good actor to me," and everyone's like, "He didn't. It's entertainment." Sorry, I just had to bring that up.
I ain't gonna lie. I grew up with Zac Efron. High School Musical. I love me some Zac Efron.
Hey.
So I was like, Bob.
Yes.
Now,
look,
I ain't gonna lie. I was on Dylan's side with them.
Can't tell you that, but. Bob didn't. He was like, I have 9. What did he say? I have 9 words. What were his 9 words?
9 words.
He said,
I don't remember what they were. I'm dead.
What did he say? I am not a. No, that's not 9 words. I forgot what he said.
I have one thing, I don't.
He said something.
It revolved around him not being a traitor.
He said some nonsense. Yep, there you go.
And he's like, I swear to God. I'm not, and everybody got a little shook. They was like, he hit the table too, like it was a fist thing. Boom.
That's what I swear to God, I'm not a traitor. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, he did say, oh yeah, maybe that's what it was.
And I was like,
everybody always swear on everybody. They swear on the Bible. They swear on their kids, unborn child. They swear on their wives. And
yeah, I wouldn't have done that. But I was like, now Bob.
The votes, they end up going through the votes. They were still talking, and Alan was like, shut up, pretty much. It's time to vote. Y'all talking. Okay, that's what his words was. Oh, and Boston Rob was like, I have 2 words. You're not a faithful, or something like that. I don't know what he said too. Because he said he was a faithful, and then that's when Boston, I had 2 words for you're not. I'm like, that's kind of 3, but conjunction, whatever. But I'll let him have it. And
I would say I have one for you, liar.
But I will say, Bob was smart. Well, this could be strategy or just in the heat of it, but he did drop some gems if people were willing to listen. Sometimes I use this in therapy, like you have to hear what one is not saying. And basically he was like, I am a faithful. I know a traitor when I'm pretty much, he's like, I know a traitor when I see one, and I'm not a liar.
And he kept saying a traitor wants me out.
Yeah, the traitors are scared of me. That's what he's like. The traitors are scared of me.
And if you listen, I mean, if you really pay attention, who he voted for, excuse me,
right?
The sickness may have caught me too. Then you gonna know who you're talking about.
And then they all go around the table, and the votes are first is like Nikki, Sierra, Nikki, Sierra, Nikki, Sierra. Then you start seeing Bob, drag queen, Bob. Ultimately, Bob is banished.
Well, what do you think about the heartbreaking one? Because it felt like right when Danielle's vote was revealed, that was like the, oh my gosh, Danielle's after me too. That was almost a heartbreak moment for me.
If you're a traitor and another traitor is voting for you, especially if like they're your friend, you got to know it's the name of the game. Like you really can't fault them for it. Like, although there were options, already said that, you can't really, it's not her coming for you. It doesn't mean she was wanting you gone. She was just trying to hide her vote amongst the majority. That's all.
I think she could have voted. I would have said Nikki, probably would have been a vote for her. But the fact that Danielle's name is going around, I think this helped her, not a lot, but a little bit. I mean, of course, the next episode we're gonna find out and be like, whoa, wasn't that crazy that, you know, Danielle voted for Bob, and you know, so it might help her. We're gonna find out next episode, I'm sure. But I'm gonna be real. I don't think Danielle cared that much. I'm gonna be real, like she was just like, oh my god, and I was like, Danny, are you for real right now?
Look,
see now with her, I ain't gonna know if she being real or not, but I'd be like, she probably like, hey, you was my family, but hey, you gotta go.
We saw that tape before you went to Ireland. You already said you ain't dealing with emotions, that you're gonna be a cutthroat traitor.
She lied.
And I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. We don't know if she's faking it or she being real. I really don't know, but I mean, it seemed genuine, but who knows?
Yeah. So
I didn't like. Oh, go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think it's literally in relation to what you're about to say, but I didn't like the fact that Bob, in my opinion, low-key broke the rules, but not really, because he basically was all but saying, hey, Rob's a traitor. I'm just letting you guys know that. I've never told a lie. I might have told a lie about this one, but I've never told a lie. I think that's like whack. I mean, listen, and if you're bitter enough to do it, like, go ahead, right? But I feel like if you're caught or outplayed as a traitor, just go with your head high, bro. Like, let everyone, you know, have their applause, whatever. But like, you don't need to like drag on your way out. Like, and I really think like he was like this close, if not already there, like basically breaking the rule, not exposed.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I don't know.
That check might have got cut a little bit. Like, hey.
Well, which is funny because we see in the confessional, he was like, dang, I didn't want to do that. But hey, it's gameplay. So he wasn't, I was like, I'm confused. So you understand this is gameplay. But out there, I think maybe it was a heat of the moment, like he's not used to being vested in terms of a, you know, something like that. Because we've seen how eloquent he's been in the past table. So it's like to be bested by Boston Raw, it's kind of like, oh, you gonna end me? I'm the one who's always reading people down. You gonna come to the table and read me? So he's kind of maybe it was a little bit of that personal aspect, like, oh, okay, let me show you why I'm the one who reads people over here, type deal. And so maybe that's kind of why it seemed like targeted towards Boston Rob a little bit in his circle of truth reveal. But yeah, basically he was like, I told you I would never tell a lie. I told you, I swear to God. And everybody was just like, oh no, please, we didn't got rid of him. Because they was all like, I'm sorry if it's not true. I'm so sorry, Bob. If you're not, I hate that I'm making this decision if it's not you. He was like, but I don't believe in God. I'm a traitor. And just
now, Bob, you had to say all that.
Like, so I was like, okay, like
I was like, all right.
I
mean,
bomb dropped. For sure, but
I think you were trying to have a move, and I'm just like, all right. I mean, okay, cool. Like,
that's exactly how it was. I was like, all right.
It was very random. Okay.
Cam said if Bob broke the rule, we can say the same about Rob because he said Bob's name at the table.
I mean, it's similar to Dan last season trying to get Phaedra, and everyone got on Dan because it's like, oh, no one knew about Phaedra at all.
I think it's a difference where if you're still actually actively in the game, then like you're allowed to do that. But like once you're voted out, I think it's like that's like if when Ari got voted out and was like, "Hey guys, just let you know, I'm not the only one here." You know what I'm saying? Like once the votes are submitted, that's one thing. Because I didn't care that Bob said that. Oh no, Rob's a traitor when he was still in the game, like, you know, trying to like go back and forth. But like once the votes are in, I feel like it's like, all right, I'm already eliminated. I'm going to drag you with me. That's kind of like bitter at that point, you know?
Yeah,
it's just like in Survivor when like you get voted out and then you expose who's working with who or whatever. I'm just like, you could have did this when you was in the game. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? It's corny. It's corny to me. That's just me. I still like Bob, by the way. I thought Bob was great too. I'm just letting y'all know that Bob was amazing. I'm very sad that Bob's gone. I
misguided. That line that was funny. That's going up in there in the history book. Okay. Sure. Like I love that is your drag misguided. I loved it. But yeah, this was a really great episode overall. I enjoyed it. This is what we talk like the drama, the entertainment, the strategy. Like we're seeing the elements of reality TV, a competition show like this. Like we're seeing it all come together in all these different ways. And I like to see people get active with, especially the people that aren't necessarily in from these gamer shows. So I like to see them actively playing. So I hope the Sierras and the Nikki start fighting the back. Like, don't be sitting up here letting the West and Derek dictate your game and put your name out there on the table. Start firing back. Like, stand up. Like Dylan, he stood up. And he was like, I'm not, backing down. Now he off track now. He started talking about, Boston Rob, we gonna work together to the end. And I think Gabby and who else he said? Gabby and Bob H. I'm like, all right, brother, now back up. You getting off track. But just be quiet now. Don't do what Peter did and try to stay out front after you make a big move. Kind of reel it back in and just start going back to listening and watching. Don't try to be so gung-ho. Carolyn, that's what we were saying earlier, Cam. Carolyn to stand up and fight back. But honestly, do she? Because she going to skate to the end. She going to win the game if they
definitely looking like it.
And
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
No, I think she's in a great spot because no one's worried about her. But I don't think anyone in the house is actively looking out for Carolyn in the faithful world or the traitors world. I feel like if it comes down to if it was somehow this current group of traders or a future group of traders, I see them all being like, let's cut Carolyn and get more money. And if it was like a trader, I mean, she's the only trader with a bunch of faithfuls. I don't see them being like, hey, I trust Carolyn enough to end it now. I can see them doing what CT and Trishelle did and cutting MJ. Like, I can see Carolyn being that MJ. I just don't think that she's established herself in any kind of, like, scenario for people to want to give her any, opportunity to get any money because it's like, I don't trust Carolyn. That's just how she is. It was the same thing in Survivor. Everyone in the fandom was like, "Oh my God, Carolyn's winning Survivor." Win. 0 vote finalist. I'm just saying, man. It's like you can be in the best position, but if you don't have the respect or at least the trust of somebody, it does not matter, bro. Like nobody at all in this game, unless you guys can name one person that's looking out for Carolyn in this cast right now. I don't see it. I don't think anyone cares.
I do think
was only one. Really?
Whoa. I think now that Bob the Drag Queen's gone, I think each of the traders will kind of try to use her as their own pawn in terms of Danielle wanting her to go against Rob and the Survivor connection.
You say use.
Exactly. So it wouldn't be trust. They'd want her as their own pawn on their side.
Yeah.
So, but in terms of the faithful, man, it seems like the Bambies have talked bit of smack about her. I forget it. I think that was like episode 3 or something.
Cute. They said she looked cute. That's about
it. Well, listen, I have a question. Before we get out of here, do y'all think they're gonna recruit someone else? And if they do, who would y'all want recruited?
Later down the road. There's gonna be like, you'd have to get down to 1 maybe because
you don't think they recruit this early?
I don't think they're gonna get more than 3 ever again. I think it's.
I think so too.
Yeah, so if someone else gets eliminated, they'll probably let them recruit, but that's it.
And I honestly, I think the recruitment depends on like how far we are into the game. Like if they start losing people, I think because the last couple seasons
back to back.
Episode 8 when Arya got recruited, so that's 2 episodes left, and then I think it was episode 9? I'm a 9 or 8. Was it 9? Maybe 8 or 9 when
very close to the end.
So. I guess it just really depends on how many traders get axed. Before.
Okay.
I will say I got to give some love to Tom for having Wes put together the puzzle that, hey, the only way to 100% know a traitor
is a what?
So I was like, Tom had to think about it. It took a second. I don't know. Oh my gosh, he could be a traitor. He was about to sell his whole game for Bob or for Rob.
Yeah.
If someone did get recruited, maybe Dylan. If just like they tried with Peter the season before, or Ari, like I think Dylan is like the obvious. I'm not a traitor guy right now. So, but that's if he's dumb enough to not take it like Peter. Like you know what I'm saying?
That was silly.
Yeah, that was crazy. Like, are you serious?
Peter would have been such a good winner if he just took it. Like he would have won. It's ridiculous, but whatever.
Here we are. So I think it's interesting. So obviously Carolyn and Danielle, mostly Danielle, are furious with Rob, and they've just reached the turret. We didn't get any conversation. We just get them taking their hoods off. Rob smirking, because he knows he just and does not care whatsoever. And we gotta wait till next time to see how it really goes down. But we see in the previews, if y'all watch previews, Danielle and Carolyn are out for Rob. And they got a plan in place somehow, and we're gonna see where the chips fall.
And I guess, do you guys have a quick thought of who might get killed? The people that aren't safe are Sierra, Carolyn, Nikki, Ivor, Sam, Robin, Gabby, and Derek. Those are the people that could be killed.
I would kill Derek to put suspicion on Sierra.
If they don't, that's ridiculous, but I can see an argument for Derek not going because Rob and him were like one of the three people came in, and then Danny and Derek have a working relationship. So I can see him not leaving. Who are the other options? It was like Nikki.
Sierra, Nikki, Ivor, who I think is up for grabs. Sam, Robin, and Gabby.
Oh yeah, he looked a little suspicious.
Ivor was name has been thrown in the turret a couple times now, like as an option.
They go ahead and take him out because he ain't really doing nothing. But
he was on the show.
He's
not John. I like John last season. It was funny.
Yeah, he's not John. Sam, I forget he's on the cast.
Okay, listen. When I seen him in one of the scenes, I was like, "Who is that?"
Let me see who that is. Is he on my?
We didn't draft him. I don't even think we drafted him.
I don't think nobody picked him.
Oh wait, no, we did. He on Josh's team.
Let me see these teams.
Oh wait, that's him at the bottom. That's him on the bottom.
Let me see. Oh,
Tracy.
The
second one to the end.
Yeah, she took two.
Tracy cheated. She cheated and got all the traitors.
I didn't even know I did, man.
I'm glad you did because I would.
But they get knocked out.
Derek also has a good team.
Yeah.
Oh man, how are you down bad right now? And
I think with who I got left though, I'm doing good.
Josh is very down bad right now. Josh
he got a rough team. He has a rough team.
He has a horrible team. But the
Josh in trouble next.
I'm telling you, I would have been set up so good if West didn't die day one. If he didn't get killed.
Wells, Interesting. Did y'all do a draft on Silent Podcast?
We did. I'm trying to remember my team. I know I got Danny. I know I got Tom Sandoval.
Yeah.
I love Tom, by the way. I know he's problematic or something, but he's hilarious.
I like him too.
I don't even remember who the hell the rest is on my team, but
go Danny.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, Cam. I'm telling you, that coffee woke Sierra up. That's my girl. She said she up now. She ready to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm glad because she was a little bit paper on the wall peeling. But I'm excited to see where it goes. The season is going great. I seen the article. I know y'all saw the article. We can't not talk about the article. That was
I ain't seen the article.
I saw that. I didn't read it, but it was ridiculous.
It is so ridiculous.
Oh, the straights.
You talking about Andy Herons?
Yes.
Yeah, I seen that.
What?
Basically, it was an
getting
article called The Straighters. Basically, it's the straight men versus the women and the gays, and that's what it's turning out to be, and that's what the season Andy Herron is propagating this narrative, and I don't believe in it at all whatsoever.
Which I want to say is like, not to get into a rant, but it's just like, all right, let's look at the traitors first of all. Carolyn, Danny, and Bob. So that's one strike. Let's look at the rest of it. Bob has spearheaded what? Dolores and who's the other person that left? In Ion. Yeah. And then the other two people were Tony and Jeremy. So that's another strike. And then I think the claim was like they don't work with women. It was like everyone's going to nitpick. Derek only has one season he's played in, but like his two closest allies were Cody and Victoria, in my opinion. And then Rob, I mean, his wife, he literally took to the final two. He's worked with Parvati. He's worked with Sandra, Bisepia. He's worked with a lot of people. So I'm just like, and then even Wes, I think Wes was on that picture too. And I'm like, Wes has worked with plenty of women. So I'm just like,
they had Dylan up there too. They had Dylan up there too.
All the women working with the women. So
yeah, I just like, and also just with like BB15, I'm just like wrong messenger. You know what I'm saying? Just like this is not.
I'm so sick. I don't care. I'm put it out here because I don't care for Andy. He just say like he acts like he had no part of that season and he wasn't contributing to why it was so problematic, as if we just supposed to forget that it existed and he was in that season. No, and I don't like. He likes to rewrite history. You're not rewriting it over here. I'm sorry. And then you throw these crazy takes out.
And I don't even have a problem with Andy. It's just like why? What was the point of doing this interview? Yeah, I just think it was, and then this magazine as well. What was the point? Well, clicks and views, whatever. But it's just starting unnecessary drama. Yeah, for no reason. Like no one even like was like looking at this sideways until he said something like that.
Exactly. Now you have people claiming all types of isms and phobias and all types of everything else.
Yeah, he started a war.
And it's been cool to see over the past 5 years. When was a 50% CBS rule enacted? And it's been cool to see that progress. And it's like people can play the game, and there'll be some seasons that are male dominated. There'll hopefully be some that are women dominated and stuff like that. And we'll just see that variance. And it's tough to judge a season, especially 4 episodes in, where, as Isaiah said, a whole mix of people have been voted out.
Too, because the women have been the better players the last 2 seasons, like we've seen, or the more popular players anyway. So I'm just trying to see. Well, I don't need to see his angle because he probably mad because he ain't getting called to come to the Traitors. That's really what it is.
There are isms, there are phobias, all that. I just don't see that with this season yet. Is there a little sexism? There's always a little sexism. It's America. I know
the men think they can row better, so they aren't getting off the boat.
Let's be real, okay? Like, let's be real about it. But do I think so far this show deserves think pieces? Don't. I think it's just messy, entertaining gameplay at this point. But believe me, when I see it, I'm gonna call it out. But I just don't see that yet, honestly.
No,
Bob got himself sent home this episode too.
Yeah,
I'm double
love Bob. Hate that he gone. I do.
I definitely don't give a fuck. I talk crazy.
Child, he went on Expedia and booked his own ticket home.
Yeah, but like I said, shout out to Bob. I think Bob was
so entertaining.
We lost Bob way too early. I was not familiar with Bob coming into this, but he was extremely entertaining. I'm very sad to see him going. But
we lost Ian. We were talking about Ian. We said I love her.
We lost Ian, Dolores. Like we lost all the messy people so early, bro. Very sad about it.
It's the game.
Yeah, we need somebody born to go next, please.
Ivor,
please.
Ivor.
Not Robin. I don't care. Not even Gabby.
Yeah, I want Robin to stay.
Need her to stay for sure. But Ivor can go. He's the little boring kill. Nobody's gonna miss him. So it's like, is it even worth killing him? But you also have to get to the point too. I think we talked about this last season. You can't some people are just not going to get banished, so you have to kill them. And I think at this point, is he going to get banished? Right? I don't know. If Tom was,
it's a maybe, because it did get brought up a time or two. But was it strong enough to be like him over anybody else right now? I don't think so.
Because honestly, if Tom wasn't safe, I'd kill him.
Tom. We need Tom to stay because he's just like literally
chaos.
Yeah, he has no idea what he's doing. Actually, no, there is like it seems like he thinks there's a method to his chaos. He's like extremely wrong, but he's still trying to play, which is interesting. But I'm a Tom fan. I think he's so bad. It's good. Like, do not take him out.
1000% agree.
This is a good point, Ms. Brown. I was looking at production sideways for bringing in 3 gamer dudes with protected status, missing 2 murders and 1 banishment, but it's too early to call it a sausage fest. Yeah, I'm not a fan of bringing people late in the game. I don't. Let's do it. Let's not ever do that. That's stupid. Let everybody start off the game one way. Just do it like that, flat out, and keep it that way. But,
man, it was probably Bananas elimination that made this happen, huh? Because they probably really wanted them some Johnny Bananas and said,
I'm so glad
no, we don't want to bring no one back that might die fast.
I want to open a question. If we saw like Kim Spradlin and Tiffany Mitchell, and then like someone that's a legend from the challenge,
Cara Maria,
do we still have the same outrage of seeing these?
No, because we like them. No.
Thank you.
Listen, in the words of Bob, I would not tell you a lie. No, I would be like,
I'm glad they none did of that. Twitter would be saying any of this, bro. Like,
I would
be screaming, "Oh my God, it's Kim!"
Okay,
over here, and we're gonna be here. We are biased. Okay,
there you go.
We are biased. Very. We would be like, yes.
Listen, I respect as long as you're consistent about it. That's all I care about.
Oh, for sure.
I'm always like be for my faves. Like, yeah, like
it's for my faves. Yeah, for my faves, we break rules.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crack it up.
But I think that's pretty much it. I think we covered most of everything that needs to be covered. We're just gonna be sitting back waiting to see what they got for us on Thursday for episode 5. Isaiah, before you go, please tell the people where they can find you, anything you got coming up, so they could check it out.
Yes.
Thank you so much for bringing me here. Literally hit me up whenever. I'll come whenever you guys ask me. And obviously, I got to get you guys on again soon. But you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers on everything like Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, all that. And then we podcast at Silent Podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and all that fun stuff. We're talking about the Traitors, just like here, and Deal or No Deal Island. We talk about Big Brother, Survivor, all that fun stuff. So you can go look at us over there as well. But this was very fun, and thanks for bringing me.
Awesome. Thanks again for being here. We'll definitely have you back.
Awesome.
Once more. Y'all know where to find us. Same thing. Who All There at Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Who All Gonna Be There podcast. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and head on over there and turn those notifications on so you never miss when we got an episode coming out. Thank you all for tuning in, listening, and watching, and commentating in the chat. We appreciate it. We hope y'all have a wonderful night, and we will see y'all next week.
Bye, y'all.